Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the We're Going 5 podcast powered by TSH Tennis. The dust has settled. The red clay is done with. My favorite swing of the season has come to a close. We talked about the epic, the historic, the legendary final of Sinner and Alcaraz last episode. But we need to talk about so many other amazing storylines that went down these 2 weeks. 2 amazing weeks of tennis. For us, it was memorable in so many different ways, but maybe outside of the finals and the champions, none bigger than the greatest clay court player to ever exist, the king of clay, Rafael Nadal, retiring. We did not get a chance to do this, guys. So just to recap on your thoughts on Rafael Nadal being honored and getting that tribute in his castle. Smile, let me come to you first.
Yeah, it was awesome because he absolutely deserved to have something like a celebratory moment for him and his ability to be such an icon over the past 2+ decades at Roland Garros. So he absolutely deserved it. It was so awesome to see all of the members of the Big Four there, to see Federer, Djokovic, and Murray, and see them honor him with their presence, and also just the gesture of sportsmanship and class, that it displays to the rest of the world. And Rafa said that many times, that it shows that, you can be rivals on the court, but you can still be respectful and friends almost off the court.
No,
right?
I think he also said, you're going to see Novak when you retire, that for us, now we can start the friendship in just a clean slate in a way. We're no longer competitors. I think these guys are going to form amazing friendships once it's over.
I think it's going to be so interesting.
They're just waiting for Novak to... Please don't go anywhere, Novak. If you're watching, do not go anywhere. But we do know probably when you do decide to hang up those rackets, we're going to see amazing friendships, bonds.
I think so. They're going to have some amazing conversations, and I hope some of them are captured on screen so we can see how they
on this podcast
break down, how they talk about their special moments, their special battles. And it was beautiful to see them honor him, to see everyone that was in the stands honor him, and to see the whole stadium lit up. Gracias, Rafa. Merci, Rafa. It was perfect. It was perfect. The Davis Cup definitely was not the right moment. It was not right. It did not have Djokovic. It did not have Federer. It did not have. It had none of them. It was so sad. And the other one was in Spain, so you thought it had a chance to actually live up to the moment. Unfortunately, it wasn't. But you know what? Roland Garros did a great job of honoring him in the right way.
Yeah, Haroon, how did this one make you feel?
It's tough, man. It's tough really to watch your childhood end, essentially. I grew up watching all of these guys: Rafa, Roger, Novak, and Andy. Andy's my favorite player, so that was obviously very emotional for me as a tennis fan. And then you'd see, even if you don't like these guys, even if you're not a Federer fan, not a Djokovic fan, not a Rafa fan, it's sad because a part of you ends. Like Djokovic said, a part of him died and ended, because it's taken away. It's such a big part of you being a tennis player, you being a competitor, an athlete. You carry that, and especially Rafa, he's so monumental in the sport. He's like an icon, Smile, like you said, he is really an icon. And seeing him go away like that, it was a great farewell, because that's the court where he created history, where he made history, and he was so dominant on it. And everybody's there, stadium is packed, all of his biggest rivals are there with him, like how Roger had it. Even bigger. You could argue it's bigger because it wasn't the Laver Cup, but this is actually where he made history. This is where his name is going to be remembered the most. And it's also great how they had his footprint cemented in the court. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, the plaque was pretty cool. It was a nice touch, I guess, the plaque.
Yeah. It's great. It's so awesome. It's very touching to see him cry as well. Rafa cries. He cries like a little kid, he's so sad, he's so emotional, and it's just tough not to feel something when you see him like that in his whole career. All of the moments, all these kids that started playing tennis and started trying to emulate his game, starting wearing sleeveless shirts, starting to pump their fist, come on, starting to try doing banana forehands. That's our entire childhood, and it's over. And it just shows that you're old now. You're old. So yeah, it was sad. But yeah, new phase and hopefully great things for him. And like thank God we have amazing things happening in tennis now. So it's not like all sad. It's kind of like bittersweet. It's the passing of the torch. But it was great to honor him that way.
Yeah. To me, what I loved about this, it's like kind of, connecting the dots in a way, how the tennis story ends, because my first memories of Rafa when he was walking into like wearing that green, sleeveless shirt. And then we saw him, he was a young boy. And then at the end, like the first few steps onto Philippe Chatrier, that's what they were. And his last few steps were him as an older man, the hair no longer long, but he had the sun in his hands and leaving with him. And like, you're like I was a Rafa fan growing up, and I'm like, I'm sad, but at the same time, I'm happy because I saw this guy as a young boy, and here I am seeing him leaving as a legend. And not only that, being a father, and it's super cool. It was super cool to see. And I thought I was going to be sad, but I actually wasn't sad. I was just happy for him because happy I got to witness the amazing career that he had. No one would have thought in the year 2005, watching Rafa be as magical as he was, would have thought that this is how it would end. 20 years later, 14 Roland Garros titles, him being honored, the plaque on the ground, your biggest rivals right there, the entire stadium filled with people, and also filled with so many people, whether it's Simona Halep, whether it's I can name so many people that were there. Roger's dad
Alcaraz,
was there.
Yeah, Roger's dad.
Iga, Alcaraz, like those are just, but they were even there, like people that went out of their way to be there. So it's like, it's kind of surreal to think of this is how it ends. And this was this young boy ended up becoming this giant icon. We were so great. I'm grateful. We were so lucky to get to see that. And like Harun says, new stories have begun, which I'm super excited for. But boy, am I grateful that I got to see it from the first moment to the last moment.
Yeah, it's so nice to see like your heroes, your tennis heroes, like riding into the sunset happily.
Yeah.
Like, and it looked like it was the proper send-off.
It was.
Like it was the way the story should end.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was so sad with how the one in the Davis Cup happened. Like, that's in no way, shape, or form a farewell that Rafa deserves. And when Roland Garros, and hats off, so much credit to Roland Garros for doing what they did, because they didn't have to, right? Because he got a farewell, it's over, but no. They said that's not the way he can go out. So
yeah, it was good. It was good. It was the way we wanted to see it. And like you said, Yusuf, that 14 Roland Garros, that's untouchable. Untouchable. I don't want to hear anyone ever discuss it ever, ever, ever. This might be the greatest sporting accomplishment in the history of mankind. 14 Roland Garros titles is unfathomable. Yeah. We were watching the highlights before one of the matches, right? And just... he was so dominant. Yeah. He was so dominant. Come on, like the number of breadsticks and bagels he was serving Djokovic and Federer, like at RG is insane. Yeah. This is untouchable level.
Yeah, we need John McEnroe to go back and watch those highlights, because what he said that he'd take Alcaraz or Sinner favored at RG.
No.
Over Rafa.
I'm not entertaining that.
It was a very interesting take.
But this, what came to mind though, and during the ceremonies, that Nike ad with McEnroe narrating is that with Rafa playing each point, and then the closing line is like, is he gonna play every single point like this? Rafa's literally, he played every single point like it was last. Yeah. Literally every single point. That ad was made, I think, in the early 2008, 9, like something like that. And he played the same way till the end of his career. Yeah. It is unbelievable, magical, iconic, Rafa's run. Yeah.
The crazy thing is, if you just want to talk about now, so Alcaraz, who just won 2 Roland Garros, he has to do this for, like, if he wants to tie him, do it for 12 more years, exactly that.
In a row.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable. Untouchable. Will never be touched in the history of tennis. Yeah. Absolutely.
Merci, Rafa.
Merci, Rafa. But I am going to miss, though, Rafa's opening line for his his speeches.
Hola a todos.
Hola a todos. Bonjour tout le monde.
Hola a todos.
I'm gonna miss that. Well, that King's speech when he wins the trophy. Bonjour tout le monde. But yeah, Rafa got the send-off he deserved.
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, guys, we have so many cool storylines that happened during the tournament, right? And this was a Roland Garros for the ages. And let's start off, though, with the biggest winner of Roland Garros, guys. Haroon, who's yours?
Like, is this even a question, man? The one and only Novak Djokovic, the ultimate beast, the ultimate GOAT. That's why he's MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. He's my biggest winner because he won the most, arguably, obviously not the champion, Alcaraz, but to me, I saw amazing things happening for him. The biggest thing, which is for him personally, is for him getting love from the crowd. That's something I loved. And that's something you've been seeing, like Djokovic been talking about it for a long time. They don't support me. The crowd doesn't support him. And as a Djokovic fan, it's really tough, and it makes you really angry. Like, why aren't you appreciating this legend, this amazing athlete and amazing tennis player? So I love that. To me, I thought that he won a lot from that. Other than that, personally, tennis-wise, the dude is a baller. Like, he still has it. It's insane playing at an amazing level. To me, I felt like he proved that he's still neck and neck with the best of the best, with Sinner, who was 1 point away from winning this amazing electric final. And he's right there. I think that's a big three. I think our discussions of big three, I think Novak is the one in that big three there. So I think there's a lot of things I think Novak won, and I think he won arguably the most. And he's fighting with Sinner, and he beat Alcaraz Australian Open. I think that he's my biggest winner, no question. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, he's my biggest winner. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but who's your biggest winner?
I love this level. No, I love Djokovic's level during this tournament. I loved what he showed against Sinner and that he can compete. Those were some epic points. He was also a few points here and there from extending this into 4, and then who knows where it goes from there. Like, it was really a magnificent match. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yusuf.
No, I don't want to repeat myself because I said all these things of how he's amazing me at this age, and I'm truly lucky. We are lucky. Maybe I'm starting this episode just how grateful I am, but what he's showing me at 38 years old is truly sensational. Is he a biggest winner? I agree with it. I think for someone like Novak, he doesn't expect to lose in semifinals. He's going in to win. So he's probably not going home as I'm the biggest winner because of how great of he's the greatest of greats when it comes to tennis. So I would think he would expect himself to win the tournament because, as you said, just beat Alcaraz in Australian Open when it came to slams. So he's probably not happy. But moving into Wimbledon, I think he's going in with great form. So biggest winner in that regard. Agree. I like it.
Yeah, I think he looked awesome. Haroon, though, my question to you is, was this Djokovic's last Roland Garros
I
ever?
hope not. I hope not. That's not the level of somebody that has to decide that right now. He was right there. By the way, he could have won that tournament. If Alcaraz and Sinner did not exist, we're talking about Novak playing for at least 5 more years. We're number 1. This is an absolute ridiculous, disrespectful question to even ask or even think, and I don't think.
No, but he mentioned.
Yeah,
it
I know.
Because he mentioned
not
this might be my
not
last
disrespectful to you, but I mean, like, it's ludicrous to even think about that because he should not be saying that. He should not be thinking that at all. Maybe he would retire, not come back for personal reasons. Tennis wise. No. Just this absolute no. Not even 1% of thinking. Yeah, okay. Probably could be his last RG. He has the health. He has the tennis. He has the mental game. He should play for a few more at least.
Well, Haroon has him coming back to RG. Yusuf, do you think it's going to be his last ever?
Is that what you think? Is it, like, from a logical standpoint, or is that purely emotional? Because if I go emotional, of course, no, he should come back. Let's play. Come on,
no,
Novak.
Logical.
I would say you're one of the best. But if we think of, okay, he's going to be 39 next year. We're talking about a 39-year-old. We saw what happened with Roger, right? He made it to the semifinals at the Australian Open, lost to Novak in that match, and then he tried. It was over for him then. It was over. And so I think he's a very smart human being and knows his body better than anyone. And the pounding it's gonna take to play RG, it's excruciating. So if you talk to me from that standpoint of like, okay, then my best chance to win, he wants to win slams. It's Wimbledon, it's Australian Open, and you could say also U.S. Open, not his best out.
All you have to do is play 4 tournaments. Just four. That's it. 4. Just stay healthy. Eat well. 4 tournaments. Don't play anything else.
Fine. Lead
no
up.
Thousands,
But
no
the thing
50s,
is,
no nothing,
the quick turnaround of the Roland Garros, Wimbledon, that gap is it's too small. So, from understanding that this man is going to be 39 years old, it makes sense for him not to play it.
If he wants to play,
so you're saying he's not. So you think that was his last Roland Garros ever?
I think next one is going to be his last, but I don't think. Well, yeah, but like if he doesn't, I think because he needs a proper send off, honestly. But if I'm on his team, I would 100% understand if he doesn't.
No, Smile. You think that you agree? You agree it's his last?
No, I don't think it's last because
Wimbledon's his best shot at winning a slam.
Yeah, sure. But he's shown that he can recover well. So the tricky thing is that he talked about how much it takes time for him to adapt to the clay.
Yeah.
And even Goran Ivanisevic before would talk about how he needs a lot of time to adapt to the clay. So this is the issue. I don't think it's the actual playing the tournament. I think it's the time it takes to get primed and ready for the
entire clay swing. I
think that's his issue. But I think there's I think this wasn't his last Roland Garros ever. I think
next one's his last.
I think next one might be his last, but you saw how happy he was for the support he received from the crowd.
That's true.
I think he's gonna get more of that. It's only gonna get more.
The more he becomes human.
Yeah, the more he becomes human, and the more people realize that this is going away from us. Like we're not gonna have many more instances of this.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get more support, and that's gonna make him want to come back. I think he likes to have the support. And I think he has the level to compete. So I think
it's not about the level. It's about you have to look at the grand scheme.
Yeah, in the grand scheme, I think he can still compete. Like it's crazy to say, but I think he can still compete with Sinner and Alcaraz at Roland Garros. It's not over yet.
How about one match? I'm with you. But what back-to-back at 39?
Back-to-back is insane.
Because we're talking about another year. Don't talk now. Now I'd say, okay, maybe.
But I see
but
a
add
world,
another year of the wear and tear.
I see a world where, for example, like he doesn't play
Why is
he doesn't play Monte Carlo. He maybe just play Madrid, Rome, and that's it. And do the Geneva quick before that's it. Like you don't have to spend so much in tournament and don't take any confidence hits. Monte Carlo doesn't translate at all into the Roland Garros, so it's colder, it's cooler, it's different circumstance. So maybe there's a way he manages the schedule better, and he can play it for not just 1, maybe 2 more years. But yeah, I don't think at least this was his last Roland Garros ever. I don't think so. And even if he doesn't play it, like for example, let's say he plays next year, and then he might not play it, for example, the 2 years after that, I still think he can play it like Roger did in his final years, he'll play it, he'll reach the quarters, and then he'll maybe whatever. Let's see what happens there, depending who he faces. But it's not over for him. I don't think it's over for him.
I think it's a crime for you to be competing for a title, close to competing for a title, and then you're like, yeah, maybe it might be my last RG or my last tournament.
I think that would be. It will tell us a lot about his belief. If he says I won't play RG again, especially in the next year or two, that means that he believes he can't beat Sinner and Alcaraz at Roland Garros. And I don't think he believes that.
No,
I
don't think so.
Going out on top, really.
I told you that match could have gone either way, right? Because those 3 sets were super close. Let's see what Wimbledon looks like for him, the fatigue, whatever. I don't. Let's see. But I do not want to see that. But I'm saying if he says that, he said exactly why he said those words. They were strictly because he believes his best chance to win slams are either the Australian Open or Wimbledon. Those are his best. Then US Open, then Roland Garros. He said that. He said, so maybe it would be best for me to be able to achieve my goals, to skip this and move on to that.
It would make sense. It would make sense.
He said it himself. So I'm just saying, with the words that he uttered, I agree. I think, yeah, I understand.
Fine, but that's
I
a
understand that
strategic
completely.
move. That's a strategic
But we're
move.
not talking about if we understand. We understand. We're just talking about what do we think will happen, right? Because we understand the logic.
I guess.
Maybe it's a strategic
But yeah,
move. though,
anyways.
but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, Yusuf, back to the biggest winners. Who's yours?
Everyone's thinking. You're probably thinking I have a player, right? You know what player I'm going to pick?
Who?
It's not a player. The biggest winner of Roland Garros was Nike.
Insane, yeah.
Because thanks to a man named Yannick Sinner and another man named Carlos Alcaraz, these two men put tennis on a global stage. Everyone was probably like, I don't even know how many people watched this match, whether the entire thing or just got a glimpse or saw it on social media or saw pictures. The brand awareness that Nike got after Roland Garros is probably worth $1 billion, maybe even a couple $1 billion, because they were everywhere. They were probably on every single human being's screen one way or another. So Nike, congrats to you guys. You are the biggest winner of the week. But I do have one request. Let's finally put in some effort in making some nice outfits that are going to be iconic. Maybe Carlos Alcaraz doesn't have to be wearing prison inmate clothes. Maybe Yannick Sinner doesn't have to look like Luigi. Maybe we can have some logos for these icons, these superstars, these household names. That would be nice. So they gave you brand awareness worth billions of dollars. Maybe dedicate a team so they can have iconic outfits and iconic shoes the same way Rafa and Roger had.
Yeah, I think I heard somewhere that they are working for a logo for Carlitos. I guess Yannick already
We've been
has
hearing
the
that for a few years, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Maybe a logo takes a long time to make one for Carlitos. You know, it's a tough thing.
Yeah.
It takes lots of time. But yeah.
Yeah, it should
But
have happened.
congrats, Nike. Huh?
It should
Also,
happened soon, but yeah,
they
definitely-
fumbled Musetti as well. Musetti with 3 of the 4
They did.
semifinalists would
Yeah.
have been with them.
Yeah.
And like Musetti having his own line also that like
Yeah.
and so many young kids are going to be going into tennis now. They're probably going to be wanting to play and eventually buying the gear. So find a way. I still have Verdasco's t-shirt from 2009.
I don't know how they fumbled Musetti. That's such a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know how they fumbled. He's 23. Like, what are we talking about?
Weird.
Very weird.
Maybe it makes his way.
And then once
Yeah,
they
it was
fumbled him, he had the best year of his life so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Next.
One more biggest winner, guys, because there's one player that I need to shout out and give mad props to. You guys are big fans of him as well. Benny Boy Shelton.
Oh, Ben Shelton.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable the form he's been able to show on clay this year after admitting that he felt like a giraffe on skates. His words. Last year,
Funny
he's
guy.
become an absolute clay menace.
Yeah.
So first of all, he won Munich this year, right? And he faced Sasha Zverev in the final, where he looked amazing. Nobody saw that coming from him.
Yeah.
And then here at Roland Garros, he looked like what you could say he played Carlitos the best after Sinner. Like you can say that argument, right?
Probably.
Because
For sure.
because
100%.
he first of all, he took him to 4 sets, if not 5. He had set points in that first set, which you don't know where the set could have gone either way. He was never supposed to compete with Carlitos on clay, which we can all agree right now. He is the king of clay. The highest level of clay court tennis is Carlitos, and he hung with him and he gave him problems. I don't think Carlitos was enjoying playing him that day.
I don't think so.
And Ben Shelton is showing he's a big game player. He loves the scene. He loves the slams.
clutch.
He loves going
He's
off
clutch.
against the big guys. He's a clutch player. He also, if we go back to what happened in the Australian Open, he also lost to Sinner. And also same story. He also had set points in that
Eventual winner.
first set. So he's losing to the eventual winner. If you're losing to Sinner in Australia and Carlitos in the French Open, you're on the right path. Like it's just he's knocking on the door. It's really, and he's a semifinalist in the U.S. Open. He's really on the cusp of breaking through, guys. He's showing he has the level.
I love Ben Shelton, and thank you for talking about him. If you weren't going to talk, I was going to talk about him because to me he stands out after this tournament. I just love the evolution. He keeps evolving as a player. Like what we saw, like Ben Shelton last year is miles ahead of like what Ben Shelton was the year before. And then if you look at him now, you're like, who in the world is this guy? And this is on clay, his worst surface. We're moving on to the grass. I'm super hyped for him.
Yeah, it's gonna be so interesting.
But Ben Shelton, what he did for us at Roland Garros, it's gonna start certain narratives because he should be up there in the conversation, and he's on the cusp of top 10. Then the conversation's gonna be how high can he go? Yeah. How high can he go? Does he deserve it? 1,000%. I also love his dad. Yeah. His dad's like super cool. He's always smiling. The positive energy that these guys show. No, I feel like the positive like I feel like he's in his box. He's always smiling and he's cheering him on. Yeah. And he's so classy.
Great
and when
energy.
he was playing Carlos, remember we were watching. We had the TNT also feed, and he was on the call with them, and he's cheering for Carlos when Carlos hits a nice shot too. It's just a classy guy, and you can imagine Ben Shelton's probably the same exact human being that his dad raised him to be.
Yeah, no, they're a classy guy, classy family. Love this relationship.
Yeah.
Love their development. God bless. I want to see more.
I think the best thing about his dad, I think he like I heard this phrase before with Mark Jackson, with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Like they said that he would breathe confidence. I feel like Shelton's dad breathes confidence into him. He gives him a lot of confidence and faith in his game and encouragement, which is something you need as a father and as a coach. And it's great. It's great for his game. I hope so.
Awesome point. Perfect. Awesome point.
Okay, guys, we talked about some biggest winners. And I'm sorry, but we're going to have to talk about not the biggest winners, a bit of the biggest losers that we had. And some unfortunate ones I'm going to have to share with you guys. Also something that I'm not so happy with sharing. But first I want to start with you, Smail. Who is your biggest loser of this tournament?
Can we please get rid of the line judges and these umpire calls? Can we please get rid of them? How many missed calls did they make throughout the entire tournament? They miss calls like crazy. They miss calls on big points in the most important matches. They're missing calls in the Sinner Alcaraz final. They miss calls in critical moments in the 5th set when Jannik was serving to stay in the match. Like, come on. Enough with these mistakes. They're too big. They're too big. They're missing calls in the Djokovic Sinner match. They're missing calls all over the place. It's absolutely ruining the integrity. No one wants to see the line judges on the court. No one wants to see Musetti accidentally kick a ball and hit the line judge. Nobody cares about them. Why make them the stars? Why are they important? Like we know on Hawkeye is getting the calls right. Like we're seeing the line judge make the wrong call, and then we see the correct call on Hawkeye. This is ridiculous. And then the umpire can't even review with Hawkeye and overrule. It's absolutely bizarre to me. It makes absolutely no sense. I have no idea why we still have line judges, especially in a Grand Slam. And when we have Hawkeye, it's still there. Hawkeye is present. They're just not using it.
It's weird.
I don't understand. For the life of me, I can't understand why. I can't understand. If anyone has an explanation to this most bizarre situation we're in, please explain to me.
I have an explanation. It's not a good one. I think it's probably just that they're purposely adding human error to add suspense and drama. I think this is on purpose that they're doing it. And maybe adding some more jobs. I don't know. AI taking away jobs. I don't know. Let's give them back to humans.
If you can have that employment rate like higher, but just like
they want to impact the Parisian economy by having more line judges. I hate it. It's ridiculous. It bothers me so much.
More controversy and more like rage bait. Get people angry, get the players angry. That's the only explanation. It's bad. I don't know if this is good at all. It's not good for tennis. I agree with you, Smail.
Have the players focus on the match, not have to worry about the call. And Alcaraz and Sinner both corrected line judges. How many times? Like at least 6 times in that final. 6 times. It's not fair. It's not fair to anyone. Either of them. On crucial points. Yeah. Like, why does Jannik Sinner have to deal with managing his emotions and stress because the line judge missed a first serve call? Like, why? Yeah. Why does he have to do that? In 6-5 down, 6-5 in the finals? Why?
Yeah, like it's that constant debate of like, okay, if I move too much into into a more modern way, then I'm losing tradition. But like this isn't tradition. This is actually affecting the outcome of events. And there's so much money on the line. There's so much like Sinner, like you're affecting whoever it is there. It happened in every single match. There's no match you're like, oh, that was a clean match, because we're depending on people's eyes. And like, I agree with you 100%. I have nothing to add to what you said. You said it perfectly. There shouldn't be anything to add to that. Well said. Is anything going to change in Roland Garros next year? I hope. Everyone moved on except them. Wimbledon moved on, right?
Everyone, I think.
But Wimbledon has Hawkeye. At least you can challenge. You can't challenge in Roland Garros.
How can you not even challenge? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's no even video
Like,
review.
they worked on so many engineers, so many different people worked on this technology for you to say, no. We're not going to use that. We're just going to stick to traditional eyes. We're going to stick to 50 and 60-year-old eyes, or I have no idea how old those line judges are. But like, I do not think that the technology that was created is worse than the eyes of a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old. Like, I don't care how old you are. Your eyes are not going to do better than the insane technology that was created.
And
you never know. Maybe they go train.
Oh, they can train. train.
But
eat carrots. Eat carrots.
They were all happy. The players had all accepted Hawkeye on clay.
And then you moved back to it.
And then you move back to line judges and no review, no challenge. Like,
that makes no sense.
They're disrespecting these guys that work at their craft. They just wake up every day and just watch balls hitting the ground. Watch. Three sets of shenanigans. That's a joke. Yeah, but
I
guess it's a fact.
I wonder if any line judges are going to be watching this.
with all due respect to you.
With all due respect.
With all due respect.
Find a different job.
With all due respect, you should be out of a job. Without due respect.
You go find something else to do.
Yeah.
Like you
without due respect, like if you want to get really argue, is that job even worth it? Like, is it contributing really to society? Like, do we need people to just watch the ball in or out when we have the technology? It's like.
No,
it's like a cashier.
No,
we have self checkouts.
Maybe you need some challengers in the middle of nowhere in Belgium or something. But no, that's their job.
Like
go to those tournaments where they don't have Hawkeye. We have Hawkeye here.
If you want to argue
we
having
have the goods.
a human referee, what drives me crazy, and especially see Medvedev having clips all the time. Get me somebody that can make this call. Get me somebody that can alter the decision. Like a human. If he can make the decision to change something, to discuss, okay, let's overrule this. But they don't. It's like, no overruling, and we're just going to live with human error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
the more we talk about it, the more we're going to get angry by it.
Yeah, no, but like you make a great point of there's obviously human error involved, right? So there is a high probability that a mistake has been made. If a mistake can be made, therefore you need to remedy the mistake. But no, they always go, like whenever someone feels like something's wrong and they go to the umpire, you're like, I just feel bad for the players because might have No, I can't. We can't change it. It was called out. It's the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing, and it has to end.
I hate it.
And that's why
it infuriates me so much.
Yeah, and that's why I have so much respect for Sin and Alcaraz and how they handled themselves, both of them, in that fight.
In so many different ways.
Yeah.
Like that was just one of the ways in so many different ways.
Yeah.
God bless those two boys. They're special boys. Special boys.
Yeah.
But
Yusuf, I need you to share with me who's your biggest loser of the RG.
My biggest loser is Smile's dark horse, Francisco Cerundolo.
Man, how?
Yeah,
we expected so much from this guy.
You know, it's amazing because you decided to go on this path a long time ago, right?
Yeah, I was all in.
Like you jumped on board so early on.
Yeah.
Like maybe from how long ago?
And it was a great pick
from the beginning of the Latin American swing.
And then when it began, even before that, I think even before that, you're like Francisco Cerundolo semifinals Roland Garros. Like it was so specific, right? And then everything felt like you were on course. The semifinals in Madrid, and then like he was doing amazing throughout the entire clay swing.
Zverev multiple times.
Exactly, and then you're like, oh, Smile might be onto something. Early exit for him. Before he exited so early, man. So early. First round?
Yeah.
Come on. So, and he was supposed to pick up points, and we saw what he did with Djokovic last season. You're like, Cerundolo, with 1 year under his belt, more experience, more confidence. No one wants this man. Guess what?
Yeah.
That ended really badly.
I think he.
And I'm sad because I love Cerundolo.
Yeah, me too. I think the pressure of the points got to him, like, because if he backed up those quarterfinal points, if he got them, he would have elevated in the rankings a lot.
And for him, you feel like everything he does is working up to this point.
Yeah,
Like, it's all preparation for this.
This is
you know,
biggest chance.
Yeah, like this is what I work for. Who cares about going deep in this Masters and that Masters? It's all about form. So eventually he can do something at the Slam. So it was sad to see.
Yeah.
And he is.
Well, to give you credit, Smile, like that was a good pick. Like we.
It wasn't though. It
have
wasn't
a problem with it at all.
It ended up it wasn't. It was a bad pick because nothing happened. It looked like a good
great.
pick.
He's a great player.
Yeah, like it looked like a good pick, but is the good pick at the end? It's not a good pick.
It didn't work out.
But I guess this is a case in point, like an example of this black swan phenomenon. This is that idea that history does not repeat itself. Like you had the COVID pandemic, like you had Cerundolo. History does not repeat itself, and something crazy happens. So something different that you did not expect. So I guess that's something we need to look out for. That history does not repeat itself, my friends. But
yeah,
it's sad to see.
True.
He should have done better. He should have done better.
He should have. But Arun, who's your biggest loser then?
Yeah, I want to say he's the biggest loser just because I have so much respect for him, and everybody has respect for him, especially on clay. And that's Casper Ruud, multiple time ROG finalist and clay court beast. He's my biggest loser because I had him going much deeper. I had him flying in RG because he's so comfortable on it and he's so great at it, so successful. He only lost in the final he lost to the GOATs. He lost to Rafa and and Novak. So that's a great stat to have on your resume. So I thought, yeah, he's definitely going to be gunslinging and going to definitely have a deep run. And I thought the only people that could really take him down are the greats. So Sinner, Alcaraz, Novak. Like I thought he's top 5 there, but he lost to Nuno Borges, who is also a great clay courter as well. He's a knight in shining armor on clay, by the way. He deserves some credit.
Yeah,
there.
but is he really a big loser because it was injury, right?
It was injury, but I think what hurts for him to make him a big loser is how far he fell in the rankings this week, because he went from 8th in the world to 18. 16, sorry. So he is going to have completely different draws from here on out the rest of the way.
Completely.
And of course, grass season means golf time.
Yeah.
Golf time for Casper Ruud.
He's going to be golfing during the grass season. It's going to be tough for him. He's going to have to really rack up the points towards the second half of the year. Like, he's not going to be able to he's going to have to do a lot to get to the ATP finals if he wants to back up that ATP finals he did last year. Like, he has a long way to go now.
Yeah.
To get back there.
But I think it's still the season is quite long, so I think he could still make up for it. And
no, I don't doubt him. He's also US Open finalist, right? And he's shown that he's a player who's always improving. It's just that he's
he did in Dallas, remember on.
But it's hard for sure.
Yeah, he has a lot of ground to make up now.
Yeah. True. Well, those were the biggest losers. Yeah. Let's move back to some positive stuff. How about that? Because, of course, you guys like to hear positive things too. And that is the inspiring stories of Roland Garros. And there are so many. They were vast, but we need to name a few. Okay? So, Smail, I'm going to come to you first. Do you have an inspiring story of Roland Garros?
Yeah, I'm inspired by tennis. I'm inspired by tennis. Tennis, we are in amazing hands. I was just thinking about this and reflecting on it the past couple of days. We might be in the best year of tennis we've had, at least in the past 5 years. We have now 2 absolute greats in Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. Thinking about, when we started having the Rafa Roger. We're in the beginning of Carlos against Jannik. We're going to hopefully get so many more of these finals, so many more rivalries. Hopefully the first of 60 matches they play each other over the course of their careers. And is there nothing better? Like this is peak sport, peak entertainment. Tennis is growing. Tennis has its superstars. Novak Djokovic is still there, so he's still there to challenge the young guns. Yep. We have also lots of nice rising storylines coming in with Draper in the UK, Shelton in the US, and Fonseca coming from Brazil. Like, we have lots of amazing storylines, and the data backs it up. This is apparently the most watched French Open Roland Garros in a long time. It was up 25% since last year. So that's enough to tell you how much it's up, I think.
Could we say it's probably like this is the highest ever because we never had a competitive Roland Garros final since a man named Rafael Nadal decided to enter
the arena.
The arena.
Absolutely agree. This is best Roland Garros final I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Might even be the best Roland Garros match I ever saw.
Rafa
in my
was
lifetime.
too dominant. He was dominant to like it was actually hurting tennis.
Yeah, and that's why people were rooting against him, like me when I was a Federer fan. Like, give us a chance.
No
give
chance.
us a chance.
No chance. No chance.
No, he didn't give anyone a chance.
No one's ever made it to 5 sets with the man. 14 finals, 14 wins, 0 losses.
Yeah, and barely lost sets along the way. So unbelievable. Only 3 people ever took him to 5. Like, it's insane. It's insane. So, but yeah, tennis is in good hands. Roland Garros is going to be awesome for years to come. And I'm so excited to see what happens in Wimbledon and the
Quick
US
turnaround to another slam, huh? The best thing about the summer.
It's going to be so fun, and I can't wait to see. I just want more Yannick Carlos, more Djokovic against them. Like, I can't wait. And I want to see the young guns. Tennis is amazing right now.
Yeah.
Tennis is peaking.
Yeah. You know, before you'd watch slams, you're like, okay, when's Roger playing? When's Rafa playing? When's Novak playing? Right? Now there's so many guys. I'm like, okay, when's Draper playing? When's Fonseca playing? When's Menchik playing? 100% agree. Great point. Tennis, everyone has inspired Smail. How about you? What's your inspiring story of RG?
I have to say, man, it's Bublik. Sasha Bublik. To me, he was an inspiring story. It's great because, we've seen Bublik, he never really talks about his ambitions, and tennis is just a job, and he doesn't really care about tennis that much. So it's like, and he's a bit now getting older. I think he's now 27, 28. So like
Old
he's
man,
getting
no,
a bit
that's
older. But he now had a quarterfinal at RG, the best tournament of his life. I think the best result he's had ever in any tennis professional stage, which is great. It's one of the biggest stage. Arguably now, this is like a more success to the Slam than Australian Open was, where everybody was watching, and he was one of the participants in the last 8, and he earned that spot. He beat Draper, who's been lights out this year, and doing it like in a fashion where nobody expected him to beat Draper.
That comeback from Demon also, remember that one?
Demon, that was an insane. The way he closed out that 4th set and the way he took down Demon was also very impressive. He did it in his own way. Also, he did it in style, which is such a Bublik thing about him. And taking down Draper, which he did it in a way where it was not a Bublik way, which is inspiring to see that. Yeah, he can play tennis in a different style, in a focused way. He saw a shot, he took it. And he tried to compete with Sinner. He tried to give him a run for his money. So he laid it all out there.
He took 5 games.
So he was really inspiring because a guy that really shows you that he's not really caring for tennis and he's taking it just as a job. But that once he puts his heart into it, it shows you that if you put your heart into something, you can actually achieve it. You just have to put your head down and see your shot and take it. Which that was very inspiring to see, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love that. I loved also what he said after. He said, sometimes it's a once in a lifetime chance. He said like, sometimes there are moments that happen once in a lifetime. And today was one of my chances and I knew I had to take it. And he said, I was not going to let it go. And then he didn't let it go. He converted. And he said this was the best moment of his life after that match.
Yeah.
And the way the crowd was cheering him was so amazing. Like I got goosebumps watching that moment.
Yeah, it was like a standing ovation for like 5 minutes.
It was awesome. It was maybe the most heartfelt moment of the tournament.
You could say.
Could be, man.
You could say.
It was awesome.
You could say.
It was awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I do have an inspiring story.
Give it to us.
We talked about her before, but we need to talk about her again. Louise Boisson.
Man, oh man, oh man.
This woman has one of the most inspiring stories we've seen in a long time. Go back to last year. She was supposed to play her first Roland Garros, her first Grand Slam. And she tears her ACL before the tournament, unable to play. And you can imagine for an athlete what that's like. That is absolutely heartbreaking. It's the nightmare scenario. And then she puts in the work and she comes back eventually a year later. Here she is. She gets a wild card to play. And wins a round, wins 2, wins 3, wins 4, wins 5 takes down 2 top 10 players in a row,
Yeah.
takes down Jessica Pegula, then takes down Mira Andreeva, and then
World number 3 and world number 6.
oh my God, like this is one of the craziest stories I've ever seen in my life. And eventually falls to Coco Gauff, the champion, which we are going to get into. But that was her story. 2 weeks of magic. And to have that in her home country, in her first Roland Garros ever, moving from 391 in the world all the way down to 61, I believe. The insane jump, and was from French rankings, she was number 24. She's now the number 1 French player. It's truly a story for the ages. It should be made into a movie. Like, I don't care what happens with her going forward. This should be made into a movie. And add on to that, one of the most important things is the money, baby. She 5x'd her prize money. Whatever she made her entire career, on one side, what she made in Roland Garros, do it times 4 or times 5. I can't remember exactly, but something like that, something crazy. So that was one of the most inspiring stories I've seen in a long time. Louise Boisson, she's going to be like etched in my brain of, wow, I saw one of the craziest stories ever, and it was not only in sport, like it happened in tennis, which was so fun to see. So Louise Boisson, chapeau, you are sensational. I can't wait to see how her career moves forward.
Yeah, awesome. And also, just watch her tennis. She's legit. She's a legit player. She has an all-around game.
The RPMs on her forehand, they show the stat throughout the tournament. The RPMs on her forehand were higher than the men.
She's a legit player. Like, this was no fluke. Like, she's gonna be here to stay.
I think so too.
She has the game.
Yeah.
She has the mental. She unlocked the mental during this tournament. She's gonna be a problem. And after going from that Harriet Dart incident to now semifinals of RG, Louise Boisson, welcome to the big leagues.
That money awesome. Smell good. That ranking smell nice.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Winning never smelled so good, huh? Winning never smelled so good.
Another inspiring story that I would like to mention with you guys. Sara Errani.
Amazing story.
37 years of age. She did say goodbye to tennis with her Roland Garros singles main draw appearance. Made it to a final before, need to add that, a decade ago. But she went on to win the women's doubles with Jasmine Paolini and the mixed doubles with Vavasori.
Doubles GOAT.
The doubles GOAT. She won both, like at 37 years of age, doing this. Truly iconic, truly epic. She's the only person that won 2 Grand Slams this week, huh?
Yeah.
she won 2 Grand Slams. She's going home with 2 Grand Slams. Everyone else is going home with 1, except Sara Errani. And then add on to that, which is really interesting, she goes on in paddle. There's the major going on in her country, her home country. She went and played that. Eventually, she lost in the first round. But she went and played another sport completely and was able to compete with the best of the best for 1 match. Sara Errani is probably one of the most talented athletes we have in the world right now, to be able to go from different sport and play and compete at the highest level and win Grand Slams.
At a major, by the way.
Major.
At a major.
Yeah.
It's your own major.
Yeah. Truly iconic stuff. So Sara Errani, we cannot move on from the inspiring story of Roland Garros without mentioning her name. Doubles legend. She's won everything she's won everything you can win in doubles.
Super elite.
Yeah.
How many people in the history of mankind have gone home with 2 slams in the same week?
We need to check.
Like, it's Serena and Venus. They've probably done it like a couple times, like winning singles and doubles together. But I don't know anyone else who has done it. Like, it's a purely iconic.
Yeah. Someone
Paolini
does
could have
know.
done it.
Paolini had a chance, right? She had a chance to do it before, but she didn't do it.
But those were inspiring. We want you guys to let us know, what is the most inspiring story you saw this entire Roland Garros campaign? Is there anyone that we didn't mention that you loved more? Please share in the comments. We love to read them. And subscribe, huh?
All right. In the meantime, guys, there were lots of things that actually shocked us throughout this tournament at Roland Garros. So I'm going to start with you, Youssef.
Sure.
What shocked you at Roland Garros this year?
There was only one thing that shocked me the most, and that was the bagel queen getting bageled. Iga Swiatek taking a bagel in that last set against Arina Sabalenka in the semifinals. This is the woman I had winning the tournament, and Sabalenka was able to break her down completely. And to take 0 games and she was on a complete tear.
Yeah, but that's WTA, right? Like that's
no. But Iga Swiatek does not belong to the WTA narrative.
She was hungry. She wanted food.
Man, this absolutely shocked me. I had no idea. Like, actually, I thought Iga's the one who's going to rise up to the occasion because this is her castle. She's the queen. This is her castle. Went the complete different direction. Yeah. So I was absolutely shocked to see this go down. A bagel to Iga to end her reign. Shocker.
Yeah, that was absolutely mind-blowing. Did not see that coming, Yusuf. But Haroon, anything that shocked you?
Yeah, what shocked me is I have to say it's Menchik and Jakob Menchik and Felix Auger-Aliassime. These are 2 players that really shocked me. They're supposed to be really good players. And they're supposed to be players that you wouldn't expect to fumble the bag. And they both fumbled the bag massively. And
sure
first
about
of
that?
all, like I have to mention, both of them lost up 2 sets up. They were up 2 sets to love and they lost. One was Felix Auger-Aliassime lost to Matteo Arnaldi up 2 sets to love. And also Jakob Menchik lost 2 sets to love up to Henry Roca, who was a Portuguese sensation. It could be a young star as well. And they both lost up when they were up 2 sets. By the way, they also lost while they were up 2 sets to love in the Australian Open. So to guess who, to ADF, Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, both lost when they were up 2 sets to love against ADF, Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, and they both fumbled the bag and they both lost in the same tournament. So Davidovich Fokina gave them both some nice little quick sad moments there, and then they went and lost, and in the next slam also they got some sad moments, but from different guys this time. So they diversified a bit their sadness. But
that was 100% no way that we could have seen that coming.
Two things.
No way.
Especially. I'd like to say 2 things. First off, props to us because we said Arnaldi Auger-Aliassime first round fireworks.
Yeah.
It lived up to it.
5-setter.
Yes. So we can pat ourselves on the back, guys. We did good there. Second thing, 5 sets, baby. The best of 5 sets. How can you not love this? We saw what Carlitos did. Anyone who says best of 3 sets are how Grand Slams should be played deserves to be. I was gonna go far. But they should not be allowed to speak. They should not be allowed to speak because that is a crime against tennis, and you should
tell that to Andy Murray. Andy Murray's one of the guys
but I think we all know why Andy wanted that, right? Because he could no longer play best of 5 sets. So like, can we please make this best of 3 sets so I can play?
No, we need best of 5. We need best of 5.
Oh my God, we need best of 5.
That's
my conclusion from what you said too, my friend. Well, Smiley, those were our shockers. What were yours? What was yours? If you have many, go ahead.
Well, I had we talked about earlier my dark horse that you mentioned, friend Cerundolo. I had him going to the semifinals of Roland Garros
and that was on point.
Yeah, that was way off schedule. That did not happen at all because he lost in round 1. But someone else within his family actually represented, and there was a Cerundolo who was advancing. His younger brother, Juanma Cerundolo.
Juan Manuel.
Friend of the show. We interviewed him recently, so check it out. He talked also about facing Yannick and Carlitos, so you're really going to enjoy that. In the meantime, Juanma was facing Alex Michelsen, right? Seeded 32 in the tournament. He took him out in straights, and Juanma was coming from the qualies. So Juanma coming from the qualies, advanced, took down Michelsen. Okay, he then eventually lost to Hamed Medjedovic, who we know was a tough up-and-coming player as well. But Cerundolo, I didn't have Juanma Cerundolo advancing further than Fred Cerundolo. I definitely did not see that coming. How in the world did that happen? That shocked everyone, including both of them, I assume.
As much as it was a shocker, as much as I am happy because we love Juanma. And he's such a cool guy, so it's nice to see. He has the upper hand. Hey, by the way, Fran, look what you did. You didn't make it as far as I did.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a revenge because Fran beat him in Buenos Aires, so he kind of gets to flex on him now that he advanced further in the Grand Slam, right?
It's definitely going to be one in the bragging rights.
I don't know
It's
if
gonna be in the
this
bank.
is a nice flex to have. Like if it would be nice if like semi-quarter, hey, I made it further, or quarter round of 16.
But he took a seeded player down, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
He's also coming from the quali, so he had to win 3 matches
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true. So that's true. He played a lot.
Like
Juanma beast.
A tournament of his own.
absolute beast. Yes, sir. Well, my friends, those were the shockers. Those were the inspiring stories. But we need to talk about something that was truly sensational. And Smail, I'm going to come to you because you had this woman lifting the Roland Garros trophy, Coco Gauff, taking down Arina Sabalenka.
Well done.
To me, one of the mentally toughest performances I've seen from in women's tennis. Go ahead. Tell me
Well
tell
done,
me what you
Smiley.
thought.
First of all, I need
Coco.
to give you props. Well done. Great pick
Well
that you
done.
made from the start of
Thank
the
you.
tour. You picked both the men and women's champions, so well done for you.
Thank you, guys.
You're a
Well,
classy guy, huh? I don't think like.
Thank you. I'm really happy because I'm a big fan of Coco, so this is also especially fun for me to see her lift the trophy.
Yeah.
But remember, guys, she was coming off both finals in Madrid and in Rome, and you could argue that after those finals, you could say, well, she's not capable of getting over the hump, right? You could say that she's not good enough, and she's definitely. You could make an argument that she's not good enough to do it at Roland Garros if she's not going to do it in Rome or in the technically smaller tournaments. But I saw something in those tournaments. I saw a mental toughness and resilience. I felt that she is growing. Even just the way she handled that Rome loss.
Yeah.
Remember how classy and how you felt like she was taking it like a learning experience. I didn't feel like negative emotion from her after that loss. I truly felt that she was just absorbing it as an experience. I felt that she was really taking it as a step in her.
All roads lead to Roland Garros.
And all roads lead to Roland Garros. And I really believe those 2 losses in Rome and Madrid are why she won the Roland Garros final. Because things were not looking her way at all in that final. She was down 4-1 to the world number 1 in Arina Sabalenka, who was playing lights out. Double breakdown. Sabalenka was playing lights out tennis the whole tournament.
Until she wasn't.
Especially in that match. And Coco in that first set didn't let go. Double breakdown, hung on. She just stayed there. She just found a way. Break points down. Stay there. Then find a way to break back. Took 1 break back. Took 2 breaks back. Forces it into a tie break. Okay, she was up 5-3 in that tie break, right? And then she lost it. Arina took it 7-5. Unfazed still. She didn't let the fact that she was losing during that first set or that she lost the tiebreak affect her. She was the better player the rest of the way. Her forehand was magnificent. Her defense was great because against Arina, you're going to have to work super hard. Add to that the fact that the conditions were terrible, and they both talked about how the conditions were very tough. Sabalenka chose to complain about the conditions more, which we're going to talk about in a second, but yeah, whoever handles the conditions better is the more mentally tough player. Whoever is going to lift a Grand Slam trophy is going to be the one that's willing to endure pain and take the setbacks and find a way to push through them. She pushed through being double breakdown. She pushed through being 1 set down. She pushed through the tough conditions. She overcame the obstacle of I haven't won a Roland Garros final before. She lost one in 2022, remember, when she was 18. She overcame the 2 recent losses that she just had to endure in Rome and Madrid, and she was unfazed. And she has the self-belief. She's the mentally tough player. I've been praising her since the end of last year about how she's maturing into a special mentally tough player. So proud of her performance. And for me, she absolutely deserved this without a doubt. And I saw it coming. That's what I saw, because that mental, she's special mentally, guys.
Actually, Smile, to give her even more credit, I did not see that coming. I did not, although she's been great on clay, but I did not see that coming because I thought Arina Sabalenka was going to put it together and beat her because I picked Sabalenka. I was confident in that pick, and Sabalenka was making so many errors. Like, it was unreal. What in the world are all these errors that she kept on making? But Coco was just so cool.
7-0. 70 unforced errors in the final by Arina Sabalenka.
Unreal. Like, this is ridiculous. How, like, I think she made more errors than I could make in a set. Like, this is coming from just somebody that double faults for breakfast. Like, so, unreal, like, it's ridiculous. But still, Coco managed to stay cool, stay calm, and she deserves it. Like, she deserves it. It's not that, yeah, like, she didn't, I want to say, like, she didn't get 3 points, but she did get a lot of 3 points because he made 70 errors. But still, you have to give her the credit because Sabalenka's still the world number one. She's a Grand Slam champion, and you expect her to always be in that fight, and she was in that fight. But Coco played great, and yeah, hats off to her, and credit to you, Smythe, for picking her.
Yeah, I thought so, Yusuf.
Very nice pick. 2 things I wanna hint on what Coco did. First thing is, you know, when you're watching the match, there was this circus around Aryna Sabalenka, and it felt like she was the star of the match. Not for good reasons, by the way, from the yelling, the screaming, and all that. And then so you sit back and you think, like, okay, if I'm looking at this match and I have no labels on, who's the world number one to me? It's Coco Gauff. It's not Aryna Sabalenka, because the mental composure and the way she was able to keep her cool and everything that you said, she showed us what the mental strength is supposed to be like from a world number one. Aryna Sabalenka was very disappointing with how she handled the entire match.
She was also getting frustrated.
You're
like
world
crazy.
number one. Yes, I'm telling you, dealing with the entire situation, like what was that? That was so. But Coco was just on the other side. No emotions, just head down, grind. It's not like Coco doesn't have emotions. Coco, we see her, she's this bubbly human being. She's very emotional. She cries, she yells, she screams, all the things, she cheers. But she was locked in. She knew this on the other side of the net, there's a volcano erupting. I need to just hold myself, hold the fort. And I have so much respect for her because she didn't let any of that get to her, and she took over and won that match. So that was one thing. The other thing, manifestation. She showed after the tournament how if you just believe that you will achieve something, you will achieve it. And if you put your head down and grind, and she wrote down, she showed that note where she said, I will win Roland Garros 2025. I will win Roland Garros 2025. I will win Roland Garros 2025. And the dream that she had, she said, I was going to win it. And sending herself a text message, you're going to win this tournament eventually. All these different things, all of them combined them together, led to this moment, to the culmination of her taking down the world number one. And you would say she was the underdog in a way because she wasn't playing the best going in, but who cares? Who cares about being the best going in? It's on that day. Can you, for those 2 hours, beat the person in front of you? That's exactly what she did. Her mental strength, her mental composure, it's a lesson to be taught because anything in life comes down to this. Do you believe you can do it? Do I believe I can achieve X? Do I believe I can achieve Y? She showed you that if you just put your head down and you truly believe and put in the work, it will come true. Amazing story. Thank you, Coco. Because that's what she showed us.
Yeah, and also just she had to endure 2 finals losses recently. She got revenge. She lost to Sabalenka when they played in the Madrid final.
Yeah.
And she found a way to come back and recover from that. I love that point that you just mentioned about her manifesting and, you know, her belief in herself and how she dealt with the 2022 French Open final loss to recover. Add to that, Coco Gauff is just pure clutch. She's 10-3 in finals now. She's on a generational clutch
Remember
run.
we saw in the WTA finals against Zhang?
She's absolutely becoming a clutch beast.
Yeah.
She's evolving into someone you don't want to play her in the clutch moments. Yeah. You do not want to. And if there's one word that I would use to summarize Coco Gauff's performance, especially in the finals, was relentless. Yeah. She was relentless. She did not give up any point. She did not give up any ball. She was running down every single one of Sabalenka's crazy shots, crazy winners.
Yeah.
She gave no ground.
I love that point. I love that point that you make, Smile, because one of the most aggravating things I heard was I played, we're going to get into that. But Aryna said, I played terrible. Even in her speech, she said, I played terrible. How about, because on the other side of the net, you have someone she's the best defender on the women's tour. Why? Because all those balls she's like a wall. Right, left. She's defending. She asks the question once and again and again and again. And eventually, if you play the way Aryna Sabalenka plays, you're going to go for more than you should, and you're going to make mistakes. And Coco forced them.
Yes, she absolutely not only that, she converts defense into offense, maybe the best on the women's tour. So Coco, amazing, and absolutely deserved this title.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Positive
deserved
head-to-head
this
now
for
over
sure.
Sabalenka.
She earned it. She earned it.
Youngest woman to win slam on multiple surfaces since Sharapova in 2006. You want to talk about history? Brought American tennis back to the Roland Garros map, which has been tough to do. Winning that for the first time since Serena in 2015. So 10 years. Coco Gauff. Something else, the last thing I want to mention about Coco Gauff is I love how this was a story of a young, very young, up-and-coming, rising star, and she has lived up to it. She has lived up to it, and she's become a superstar in the game of tennis. And it's sometimes, most of the times, these people, they don't live up to the hype. She's lived up to the hype, and she is just getting started.
Yeah, and also you love to see a champion who's humble in defeat before victory, and that's exactly what she was in those two finals she lost.
Yeah.
Right. She's a classy person.
Yeah.
Coco's a classy person.
Yeah, the humble. This is a perfect segue, my friend, because we do need to talk about this. And this was probably the talk of the town before Sinner and Alcaraz decided to change the course of history. Maybe overreacting. But Haroon, what were your thoughts on Sabalenka's comments afterwards? First of all, saying that I played a terrible final and she didn't play well, I just played terrible. And then saying, actually, if Iga had beat me and played this match, she would have probably won. I want to know your thoughts on this. I haven't heard your thoughts on this before today in Smite 2, but Haroon, let me start with you.
This is it's loaded, huh? You know, like these things that she's saying, it's loaded. It's like it's really meaty. So there's a lot of things to unpack there. First of all, I played terrible. I would say, yeah, after that first set, I would say arguably, yeah, it is terrible. It's definitely not at her level. Whether saying Coco didn't play well, I don't know if this is a language barrier thing where saying, oh, I didn't play well, like you're saying she played bad, and that you just lost it all. I think it's more of maybe there's something lost in translation there. But how
No, she spoke in English.
Yeah.
There's nothing lost in translation.
I know, but
if we were
yeah,
talking about
lost,
another language,
yeah,
there's something
but
lost.
I think there's some language barrier there. I think she didn't really convey her words correctly. I think it's more that, yeah, she lost the match rather than Coco won it. Like we talked about, with Sinner, Alcaraz. Yeah, Alcaraz won that match because Sinner was playing amazing, and Alcaraz had to take him down. I think more of, if you're saying she didn't get anything for free, no, she did get a lot of things for free. Not taking away how that she had to play great, and she's a champion, she deserves it. She deserves it, and she earned it. But she didn't win it as much as Sabalenka lost it. And I'm not, like, whether saying, Iga would have won the match if she would have played, I'm not so sure. That I disagree with, because Coco did play great, and she's been playing great on clay for the season so much, and Iga not the case at all. So I think Coco would have taken her down easily, but I think Sabalenka, if she was playing at her best, at least if she was playing how 80-90% of what she was playing this entire tournament, I think she would have won. I think this was probably one of the worst performances she's ever had in especially in the slam final, especially in any final. So yeah, I agree with what I think she's trying to say, but not in the way she said it. So she said it in a way that comes off like really, really toxic and really like passive aggressive. Like, oh yeah, she didn't play well, I just gave it away. I was supposed to win it, but I gave it to her, and Iga would have won. Like, those things are just like very sassy and very, passive aggressive and not so nice. But I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt because Sabalenka has been showing us a lot of body work of her being a really good sportsman, and she really tries to give credit to the other player all the time in all her speeches, especially when she wins and loses. And she's very playful, and she has a lot of fun banter. So I don't really think that. I think it's maybe she got really emotional. She got really upset. She's upset from herself. But yeah, I don't really want to read too much into that. Oh yeah,
No, but you did some good mental gymnastics there to reach your conclusions. Smite,
Oh, but
show me your mental gymnastics.
whatever. What do you think?
It's
Smite?
good.
Yeah, well, I'm not actually going to give Arena the benefit of the doubt here like Haroon. I'm actually on the other side of this. I think character shows in these moments of conflict of interest, like when every cell in your being
I disagree,
wants
though.
to say every cell in your being wants to say something, and then you control yourself from not saying that. That's essentially what it is to be classy, right? To show good character. Like you want to say stuff, but then you don't say that because that's not the right.
But we've seen a lot of other instances, by the way, of Sabalenka making sure to give credit to the other player when she loses. So she's lost to Iga before.
I back with you. I back you on that statement, Haroon. It's true. She did. She is quite.
She's
playful.
classy.
Doesn't mean that someone shouldn't be criticized for when they do it.
It doesn't mean that
Roger with Rafa and Roland Garros 2009, Serena Williams with Naomi Osaka. Those are I think.
Yeah, guys, but this is really
it's
really.
Yeah, it's like doesn't mean that she should be excused just because she usually does the other thing. Like for me, no, it's completely for me. It was completely disrespectful to say what she said.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful to Coco. It's disrespectful to the game, and no reason to bring Iga into this conversation. Yeah, by the way, and Coco said this after, right? She beat Iga 6-1, 6-1, double breadstick when they faced off a couple weeks earlier. So no, Iga was not going to meet Coco. Coco actually just dominated her last time they played. So please put respect on Coco's name. Yeah, the reason why you played bad, by the way, is because Coco made you play bad. Coco had a lot of say in you playing so badly because she was playing awesome and because she was more resilient and she was probably more fit and because she knew she was here for a battle because of those trials and tribulations she had just been before in the 2 final losses in Rome and Madrid and in the previous final loss in 2022 to Iga in the Roland Garros final. No, Coco was built for this moment and she handled it better and you have to acknowledge that. You have to acknowledge she played better. You have to acknowledge she was more mentally tough. You have to acknowledge she dealt with the conditions better, and then you eat your words and you say that's it. You don't say anything else. Can you imagine if Jannik Sinner,
I was just gonna say,
if Jannik Sinner after his final lost against Alcaraz, if he said, actually I just played terrible and I should have ended this match after one of the championship points and it was just a few inches off my forehand and this title would have been mine. Actually she didn't play well. Actually Djokovic, if he made the final, would have beaten Alcaraz. Wild. Absolutely wild. No, it's unacceptable what Sabalenka said. She came out and apologized after, so it's okay.
You have to say face.
Yeah, she had to, but no, it's absolutely unacceptable what she did.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you brought the center point because I was going to bring it up. I was going to say it differently though. I was going to say, well, if he said maybe if the French crowd, if you guys didn't cheer for him, this match would have been over already. Like, no. Once you reach that stage where you're playing in a Grand Slam final, there are no excuses. There are no excuses. And to this day, I loved Roger. I love Roger. But that I was a big Rafa fan. And what he did that day when I was a young kid, I'm like, you just really, like, this was wrong. What you did to Rafa winning his first Australian Open. And he started off his speech by saying, sorry, Roger. So these are things that
for me, it's not the same as to what happened.
Roger
is not on the same level at all as Sabalenka.
No, I'm just saying the fact of to me, I don't like these. I like to see as classy as can be. You're world number 1. You won Grand Slams before. Someone else was standing in that exact position that you're in, and they decided to be gracious and decided to give you your flowers. Do the same. And but Coco, we do have to say that Coco beat her in the U.S. Open also, and she gave her a heartbreaking loss there. But but Sabalenka's not new to this in a way. We saw when she lost to Madison Keys how she destroyed her racket right after the final, which is not the classiest thing. I understand the emotions that actually I do not understand because it's probably something we can't even comprehend playing a Grand Slam final and losing. But benefit of the doubt is to be given when I haven't seen it before, but in these instances, no, benefit of doubt is not given. And saying that Iga comment made no sense whatsoever to me.
The Iga comment for me is the one that bothers me the most.
It makes no sense.
Yeah,
why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Like, if you can say you played terribly, I don't mind that. You can say that, like, she handled the conditions better, fine, but no reason to bring Iga in it. And like, just give credit to Coco.
Yeah.
Like, she's been classy before. She showed, like you mentioned, against Madsen and Harun mentioned, she's been classy before. But like, this was unacceptable. Let me say, it was very childish.
Yeah.
That's how a child would react.
I would never like this. I never like when the spotlight
It's
is
emotional.
spotlight is
It's
taken.
It's emotional and just like.
I
but
understand
we're
it's
counting on
emotional,
her to
but
control those
like you
emotions.
have to find a way, because when you win, they find the way. Everyone else finds a way to give you your moment. That's what we love about tennis, right? Because all the losers, they understand that it's not my time, and they're gracious. And then the winners also know that the losers feel bad. Like, one of the things we look forward to are the ceremonies, because of these things that tennis players show. So I love Aryna Sabalenka. She is one of my favorite athletes.
Yeah, and she's going to continue to be one of our favorite players for all of us.
It's just
that
it was a
moment
tough
was
moment.
unacceptable.
And I will say this, Harun. I'm not going to look at one thing and say I'm going to disregard the body of work. No way. No. But in this moment, I'm a bit disappointed. And I do think because of this, she lost a few fans, because this wasn't the way for you to react. And some people were watching this for the first time ever, and this is what they saw. You know, like Michael Jordan always says, like, sometimes someone's coming to see me for the first time, and I want to put on the performance for them. So the entire way you approach it should be the same way. This might be the only match someone watches. Leave a good impression.
Yeah, but
that's why I'm sad.
Our lives are not just one moment, you know. So like we don't just have one moment and that just decides who we are. I think even if she I'm not saying that she didn't do anything wrong, but I'm saying that it's like, okay, she was emotional. She made a mistake, bad taste for bringing up Iga, but I guess. Also, she's really upset for that final. She really wanted it, and it's tough to really judge to say, oh yeah, it's so easy to just go give props to somebody. We like it so much because we know how hard it is, but we're not gonna just put somebody down because they weren't so great, you know. Like, okay, she's honest, maybe that's just how she feels. So I don't love it, but I understand what she's trying to say, but. Yeah, she's human. Like, everybody's human. It's a really tough battle, and you're coming short right at the end. So it's not that big of a deal for me. I'm not taking away anything from Coco. Coco's a great champion. She deserves it. If this was anybody else other than Sabalenka, Coco would be back. She would win another title. So Coco deserves all her flowers. But yeah, she made a mistake. She apologized, and that's it. Not that big of a deal.
We would love to know what you think of this, because, guys, it's an interesting topic. So please let us know in the comments what you think of this entire Sabalenka thing. Is it a discussion? Is it not? Comments. Okay, guys, moving on to my favorite segment, and that is overreactions or not. So I'm going to tell you something based on what happened these past 2 weeks in Roland Garros, and you let me know, is it an overreaction? Is it not? First up, Harun. Are you ready, my friend?
Let's go, baby.
Here we go. Novak Djokovic could have won the tournament if he did not face Jannik Sinner. Overreaction or not?
It's such a tough one, because I said that before the final happened, and I was very confident after I saw that level. But with Alcaraz in the final,
overreaction or not?
Oh, it's tough. Let's say no. It's not an overreaction. I believe in the GOAT. He faces well against Alcaraz.
Overreaction or not?
I'm going to say this is an overreaction. You have to respect the level that Alcaraz showed on clay this year. Like, he was untouchable, right? Yeah. And I'm going to have to see it to believe it, which is bizarre to say against the GOAT, right? But and also, like, he's going to have to do it in best of 5. We've recently seen Djokovic take down Alcaraz in best of 3 on clay, but best of 5 recently we haven't seen. Well, we did see in Australia, but not on clay.
Remember, he cramped on him in 2023.
Yeah. So
but no one has beaten Alcaraz at Roland Garros since 2023 except Novak.
Yeah, it's true. So it's
that one in 2022 when he cramped, and the Paris Olympics at Roland Garros within that stadium. No one has touched it.
Well, it's true. I don't know. What do you think then?
I kept flip-flopping, but I'm going like, if you would think he can if he was exactly in Jannik Sinner's scenario, He closed it out, right? Does he close it out? Those triple match points, he gets one?
Probably.
Oh, so this is ludicrous to think. But I cannot... it would be disrespectful to the man that won this tournament, Carlos Alcaraz. So I would say, if, like the famous quote of Rafa, if it doesn't exist, and if doesn't exist in this scenario, Carlos Alcaraz would have probably become the champion, even if it was Novak, probably.
So overreaction.
Yeah, overreaction for me. Next one, Smail. Sinner and Alcaraz are the big two, and there is no big three, overreaction or not.
Wow, so means that we're discounting all the up-and-coming young beasts, right?
And the existing beasts.
So it means no Draper,
Ça n'existe pas.
no Musetti, no Casper, no Manchik, nobody coming.
Nobody, my friend. Big two.
I'm gonna say I agree. This is not an overreaction. I think they just validated this level that we saw from Sinner and Alcaraz. They've taken the last 6 slams now. They've dominated. Yeah. They're the top. The level that they can rise to is something I don't think anyone can rise to aside from a man named Novak Djokovic, who I'm not putting in this because it's disrespectful to consider him as part of this debate.
He likes to say I'm the next gen.
Yeah, he's not part of the next gen, no. But we have a big 2 plus Novak Djokovic.
Plus GOAT.
Yeah,
we have
plus
big
GOAT.
2 plus GOAT.
2 plus GOAT.
Haroon, overreaction or not?
Yeah, for considering 2 plus GOAT, this is not an overreaction at all. They're light years ahead of everybody else, I think. I think they're a big 2 and it's very, very closed up. There's a very thick wall around them and you're going to need a lot to break that.
Yeah.
So
You know when we did the overreaction of what if it's a crime to put Fonseca? It would be a crime to put anyone else in the conversation with it. Because they are light years ahead of everyone, as you said, Smail. So for me also, this is not an overreaction.
I mean, you have to take the words of their opponents too. They're talking about how they're light years ahead, right?
Draper himself,
Draper,
who we
Musetti,
have coming in.
All of them are saying that.
Yeah,
I think it's
very
tough
true.
it's tough to say anything after you saw that final. Like, can you expect anybody else to be on that level? Yeah. I think everybody not named Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic is like watching. Wow, what in the world is it?
Like fans, they're watching like us. They're probably watching like us.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't want to name any names. But
Nope, no naming. Moving on. Haroon, coming to you.
Yep.
This loss in the final will make Jannik Sinner come back stronger and win the next 2 slams. Overreaction or not?
So make him come back stronger, even stronger than what he actually is.
Yeah.
So he can win 3 slams at the end of the year. So he'll dominate like that. I think it's gonna make him come back stronger, but technically he's gonna be stronger because he's definitely gonna live and learn. But the next 2 slams, no, that's an overreaction for me. I don't think he's gonna win the next 2 slams.
Overreaction. No, you think he'd come back stronger? Okay. No, it's an overreaction to think that.
But it come back stronger, yes, because he's gonna learn. And
you want to divide into 2? No, we can't divide.
But he's not gonna win the next 2 slams, not the next 2. So overreaction.
That's a different. Okay, Smite.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of overreaction. I don't expect him to win Wimbledon and the U.S. Open. I do expect him to come back stronger. I 100% believe
exactly.
This is going to be the beginning.
You also want half of the sentence.
Yeah,
it's a compound sentence.
I believe this is going to be the start of his villain arc where he's going to become an absolute annihilating beast.
But not as soon as Wimbledon?
But not as soon as Wimbledon, no. Not as soon as Wimbledon, because also there's a man named Novak Djokovic who's gearing himself up to try to take Wimbledon. He's looking scary good. Carlitos double 2-time defending champion. So maybe not yet.
Okay.
Your turn.
My turn? Overreaction. Because I just... Not overreaction. Again, we're doing the exact same thing. I do think this is going to be a big moment in his career, and I think he is going to turn it around into an amazing way.
Wow.
He has a great team around him. What's wow? What's being said that's wow? It's exactly what you guys said, but he is not going to win the next 2 slams.
Oh.
That is not going to happen. Oh. Yeah. So overreaction for me also.
I thought you said it's not an overreaction.
I am sad to be agreeing with you guys on that. But let's move on to the next one, Smail. Interesting one coming. Lorenzo Musetti will be the first player to win a slam not named Alcaraz, Sinner, or Djokovic. Overreaction or not?
This is spicy. You're gonna make me hurt some feelings along the way if I'm gonna respond to this with all honesty.
Go ahead.
I think Musetti's a fantastic player. He's gonna become a Grand Slam champion, 100% in my belief. He's a young player with all the talent. Beautiful boy, as his coach says.
You love to say that.
But is he the next one?
Outside
To me,
those guys.
he's not the next one for me. He's not the next one for me. And I believe, we talked about this last time, which is, I think Alcaraz and Sinner probably have this on lockdown and Djokovic in the mix for the next 2 years. And I think in the meantime, you need someone with power, with cojones, with the ability to play the big matches. Someone who can match firepower with firepower and belief. Yeah, I think the next in line is João Fonseca. He's my next in line. It's bizarre. It's crazy. But my next in line for a slam, my next in line is a João Fonseca. It's going to take him maybe 2 or 3 years.
Oh, my God.
But it's João. It's João. It's for me, João.
Haroon, overreaction or not, man?
I fully agree with Smail right there.
Oh my God.
Everything he said, I fully respect Musetti. Great player, phenomenal player. Just a magician. So great to watch him. All the respect to him. All of it. All of the respect to him. But nobody's winning a slam for the next 2-3 years except these three guys. And so you have João has 3 years to prep. He has 3 years to prep. 2-3 years. It's, if anything, I think I should be kissing the ground if I'm João Fonseca. I'm like, wow, I get 2-3 years to practice with no strings attached when those guys are gonna have it on lockdown, and it's not free. The market is closed. It's locked down. Nobody is winning a slam outside of these guys. And then João has 2-3 years to prep. I think it's that. I think that's how it is, man. Like, with all the respect to all these guys, it's João time because he's gonna have all this time to prep and nobody's winning. Nobody's winning.
A question. I think a question to be asked, which is going to be another conversation, but I will state it here just so we can remember. If João Fonseca doesn't win a slam within the next 2-3 years, is he a bust? How about that? Because the way you guys are hyping him, maybe he's like, if he doesn't win, then
okay.
Well, it's okay if you're gonna ask
but
question.
let's not ask that.
Is Holger Rune a bust?
No. Now we're going into a complete different galaxy.
Well, he was the same type of potential.
Okay, we're gonna move into a completely different. Let me just answer this. Lorenzo Musetti was 1 point away from going up 2-0 on Carlos Alcaraz. He was absolutely dominating.
With all due respect,
the way he was. With all due respect, what?
It means nothing. With all due respect. 2-0.
Okay, very nice.
Sinner had three championship points.
Very nice. I'm saying this because he's on his way. He's improving. And he is a man who's capable of going toe-to-toe with these guys. And I think he's going to continue improving. We're seeing the mentality
how much
improve
can
day
he
in,
improve?
day out.
How
We're
much
seeing the
more
tennis
can he improve?
A lot more.
He's
Someone
been on
has
the tour
talent
already for some time, and he's been. This year
How-
was amazing for him.
how come you get a chance to state your reasons and I don't?
Okay, go. Sorry.
How come? So 23 years old. So he's going to get the chance to evolve. We're seeing progress every single year from him. Semifinals at Wimbledon last year. Semifinals now in Roland Garros. Semifinals are better at every single big clay Masters event this season. How can you discount a man like this? He deserves so much love and so much, I think, recognition. And he is going to continue to evolve. So this is not an overreaction. I am biased because he's my favorite player, but I do think he will be the first person outside Alcaraz, Sinner, and Djokovic to win a Grand Slam.
Wow, you have Musetti over Draper?
Yes.
You think he's ahead of Draper?
That's great for everything you said except that last sentence. Like, I think me and
How
Smiley-
can you have Draper ahead of a man who made two semifinals at two different Grand
Okay.
Slams?
I'm asking you a question.
Okay. I'm gonna start becoming emotional and defensive because he's my favorite player.
Everything you said,
yeah.
I think me and Smiley fully agree with. He's improving.
Except-
he deserves his props. Semi-finalist
Except
in
what?
Wimbledon.
Where's the butt?
playing
Give me the
great, going deep in all of these big tournaments. But how much more can he improve to the extent where he is taking down Sinner and Alcaraz? Do you think, like, The reason why somebody like Wow Joao is ahead of Musetti or anything like that.
Please do
It's
not have
because Wow
recency bias
Joao
and
has
think
so much to improve.
Let me just say something. Please do not look at this match that you saw on Sunday and think that is the norm. Everything will regress back to the mean, and they will not show you this level. Like, do not be.
Who?
Do
You're
not
talking about
be
Alcaraz
fooled.
and Sinner?
Yes, do not be fooled that this is the level you are going to see every single time these guys hit the court.
Okay, so
they showed us magic, one for the history books.
No,
Do not look at this from only a recency bias perspective and think this is the way every single match is going to go down between Sinner and Alcaraz, because Alcaraz will have dips. Sinner might have, I do not want to see it happen, whether it's injuries, whether it's fatigue, whether it's something, whether just the tennis is not the same.
Okay.
So don't look at that the same way.
Okay,
please.
that's a great argument to make, by the way, because you're saying they're gonna dip. That's great. But you know what makes you a great player is that you can dip all year round, but when it comes to slams, you don't dip. And that's what we've been seeing with Alcaraz and Sinner. When it comes to slams, they don't dip. And for Sinner, he doesn't dip anytime. He doesn't dip the entire year.
What has Musetti showed you?
What?
No, but they didn't. What has Musetti showed you?
What do you mean, what has Musetti showed me?
What, did he show you? Did he show you dips? Like making
it doesn't matter the dips. How? No, it's not about the dips. It's not about the. It's how
to
high
him,
can
he
go.
needs to improve physically. He can go.
His ceiling.
His ceiling is much higher than Sinner.
No, it's not because
Whoa.
no.
Musetti?
Yes.
Whoa.
From a talent standpoint, if you want, who's more talented?
No, it's not.
Who's more talented?
Sinner.
No, it's not.
No, you guys, just because you say it in like in a standoffish way, doesn't mean it's not true.
It's true. Sinner is more talented.
Nobody
Sinner's
agrees
more
with you
talented
with
than
this.
Musetti.
Yes.
Sinner more talented than Musetti. That's 100% conclusion.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah, Sinner is way more talented than Musetti.
It's not more beautiful than Musetti, but he's more talented.
To me, it's more beautiful. Sinner's game is more beautiful than Musetti. Musetti has more variety, but in terms of watching his aesthetic, to me, Sinner is more aesthetic to me. But that's a different thing. Like you believe that Musetti will reach Sinner, so you think he still has enough upside to reach Sinner. That's what you're saying. So first of all, let's say that is true. You're assuming Sinner is not going to move.
Musetti. No, he is, but I haven't seen the final form from Musetti, and I am looking at a man who has everything in his arsenal. He has everything.
Okay, and how old do you think?
How
Sinner
can I
is?
look at someone who has that? And he just needs to improve his endurance. His body needs to, I don't know what happens, but it breaks down. Once that improves, he has the tennis to go toe to toe with all these guys.
Yeah,
I think I think the way you quantify your talent, your perspective of talent is a bit different, because I think the way that Sinner can hit the ball that hard on the rise is talent. The way he moves is talent.
I agree.
His serve is talent.
Haroun is the one.
His mental.
Haroun's the one who said he needs variety. Musetti has that variety. That's built in. It's ingrained in him.
Yeah, but it's easy to add variety when you have absolute perfection almost in everything else. Like you don't have the same thing with Musetti.
Easy to add variety. Easy to add variety.
Much easier.
Are you
much
kidding
easier
me?
for Sinner
Are
to
you
add
kidding
variety than Musetti to add.
So you're saying
like
I
Sinner
can teach
and
Andre
power.
Rublev a slice backhand right now, and that's easy to teach?
For Sinner, it's easier for Sinner to add variety. Yes, Sinner.
It's easy to teach someone who's talented something new, like in a certain way. Like you can teach.
You think
the
Musetti
touch?
is going to develop the power of Sinner?
No, but he has close enough power.
I'll give you an example. For example,
But he has lots of other things.
You have somebody super talented like Bublik, right? Bublik is super talented, you know. But Bublik can't change.
Let's just cut this. Let's cut this short because we disagree. So let's agree to disagree here, because I'm going to continue. I'm going to try to convince you with my approach, and you're going to try to convince me with your approach.
Let me add one more point though to this debate, Yusuf, because Musetti's 0-2 against Sinner, and he's 1-6 versus Alcaraz. So he's going to need to overcome that hump.
The current form of him.
Okay,
Well,
so
the question wasn't. No, let's please not get into it more. But let's just to close this. The question was, Musetti Is he going to be the next person outside these guys to win slams?
Yeah.
So
and he's going to have to beat Sinner or Alcaraz to win slam.
does he have to have the
And-
does he
or
have to have an
Djokovic.
overall better career? Is Stanislas Wawrinka better than Novak
No,
Djokovic?
but right
But
now,
on that day,
He's
he was able to
0-2
take
versus Sinner, 1-6 versus Alcaraz. So
go and look at the head-to-heads of Wawrinka against all the big three. But he was able to win one. Go look at
I
Del
think
Potros.
Musetti's going
He
to
was
win
able
one.
to win
I'm
one.
not saying Musetti will win a slam.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
just saying he won't be
Musetti
the
would win
first.
one. Yeah, but he's not going to be first.
So-
And his game
Okay.
is not going. He's not going to win one while they're all at their peaks. I don't think so.
Which means he's not going to win one. Okay, so moving on to the next one because this took way too long, and I really hope people agree with me, but maybe not because when coming to the conclusions and seeing the comments, everyone tends to agree with Haroun. I mean,
Let me say last point.
No, let's move on. Let's move on.
No, one just piece. Let me say. I clarify something. Maybe it's not Joao. Maybe it's not Joao Fonseca. Like I'm not gonna die on the Joao Fonseca train. I don't think it's Joao Fonseca, but I don't think it's anybody in the field right now. I think it's either somebody new, somebody fresh and raw. Because this level is not something that you can learn to become
I know.
right now.
Maybe it's Jaime Alcaraz.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe counting on 15-year-olds that might come
Yeah,
in.
Really,
interesting. Well, last one here, just so we can finish this overreaction or not segment on a high note. Smail, I'm going to come to you because this is
It was
your
super high.
girl. Coco Gauff will end the year as world number 1. Overreaction or not?
I love Coco Gauff, but Arina Sabalenka is so far ahead and dominant in the head-to-head battle. In the world number 1 race, that it's gonna take a lot for her to catch up with Arina. Arina also is very dominant on the hard courts, and she loves the hard. So I'm gonna say overreaction. She's not there yet. She is She's world number 2. She's getting close, but not there yet. No,
Yeah.
overreaction.
Haroun, overreaction or not?
Yeah, overreaction. I don't think so. I think Arina Sabalenka is way too consistent, and I think it's Coco. Maybe next year, not this year. Sorry.
Yeah. Even though mathematically she has a chance, Arina Sabalenka has no points to defend in Wimbledon, so she's only going to add to that.
Yeah, the Wimbledon point's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Arina's staying number 1 for a while, my friends.
Yeah. It looks like it.
Well, that wraps up the overreactions or not segment. Please let us know in the comments what you think and subscribe if you haven't. It means the world to us. Let's move on to our next segment, my friends.
Okay, guys, we want to move on to the next gen update. Smiley loves this update. But we have these young guns that we love, these new rising stars. Smiley, take it away.
You guys know I love the next gen. That's my favorite thing to follow. One of my favorite things to follow. Guys, you saw Fonseca. Well, he lost in round 3 to Draper. It was a straight sets victory. Yusuf, any quick thoughts on that?
No quick thoughts. Go ahead.
Haroun, what did you think of that?
I think he's building. He's cooking something. Although it's in straights, but he's still cooking.
Yeah, he's cooking.
We gave our thoughts.
I like how he handled the crowd, so I'm positive on that. Yeah. We saw that Artur Fils, he was potentially a dark horse here. He withdrew to injury before his match against Rublev, so hopefully he recovers. But the physical aspect of him.
Stress fracture in the back. That
Yeah.
might take him out for a while.
Yeah.
But they said 4 to 6 weeks, but it might be longer.
Yeah, it's a painful injury, and he's an exciting player, so it's a shame to lose him. He was also having a career year.
Yeah.
On the other side, well, Haroun, you talked about Menchik losing. He lost to Roca, but he beat Muller before that. So
I don't think we need to mention Menchik here.
yeah, it was a tough loss for him. Well, Leonard Tierney lost in straight sets to Zverev this time around. No magic.
Expected.
Yeah, he took out Medvedev, remember, in Australia in the first round. We didn't find the magic against Sasha this time.
Of course.
Although he beat Zverev
And,
before in Acapulco.
He did. So it wasn't far fetched to think he could do something, right?
Yeah, it's far-fetched.
Yeah, because Sasha loves the clay. But last but not least, Alex Mickelson actually lost to a friend of our show, Juan Cerundolo, in the first round.
Yes.
In straights.
Yeah.
So
Love to see.
Yeah, actually happy for Juanma, even though
Maybe
Alex is a
Not
fan
the
as well.
best. Not the best for the next gen, except for Fonseca and Fils, I would say.
And Juanma.
Yeah,
Maybe if we
also-
consider Juanma next gen.
True. He is part of... No, he's older. He's a bit...
No,
He's a bit older, but
he's the Sinner Alcaraz.
Yeah.
batch.
Sinaka's generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, well, guys, You know, we love to keep it transparent here and let you know where we were right and where we were wrong. Let's start off where we were right. This is kind of like a self-patting victory lap.
Don't spend too much time here. No one wants.
Because I called it. I told you I had Alcaraz from the beginning. This is not saying much, but I did have Alcaraz going for the title.
Well done.
You did have some fun picks. Yusuf, you had
Novak wrong.
Novak. Harun, you had Sinner. It was a match point away, right?
Yeah.
On the women's side, I also had Coco.
Iga.
Yusuf, you had Iga. Hard luck. She fell in the semis to Arena. Harun, you had Arena.
I had Arena. So we've been going neck and neck, me and you, Spy.
It was close. It was close.
Well, I had the best picks.
Yeah, you had the fun picks. Also, let's also revisit our dark horse picks. Actually, Harun, you were the only one correct because you're the only one that had your dark horse make it to the quarterfinal. You had Tommy Paul.
Tommy Paul, baby.
Well done. You saw that coming. Yep. Yusuf, both me and you had it wrong. I had Cerundolo. I was way off.
I took Holger Rune.
You told Holger Rune. You lost to your boy Musetti. I can't even believe you picked against Musetti for that match.
Do not remind me, my friend.
Yeah. On the women's side, I had Ostapenko because I wanted to see Iga play Ostapenko.
That was a nice pick.
She did not make it.
I made the best pick, though.
Yeah, you had
Karolina Mukova.
Yeah.
First round loss.
First round.
I had Diana Schneider.
Yeah,
that's about to be yours.
Oh, that was a really good one, too.
Yeah, she went maybe a round or two more, right? But also round one was with Diana also.
She lost
so long ago. So long ago.
No, but she lost right away also. She didn't make it.
Sad.
So it was sad, guys. But
we have someone having her win Wimbledon here in the office. TSH Jimmy has her winning Wimbledon. That's on record, by the way, because if he decides to back out from that.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a chance to make up for these picks coming up soon.
Yes, sir.
And the grass season is here. We're going to have a lot to talk about this week, next week, setting up for Wimbledon. So many fun things to talk about. Also, you guys are really going to enjoy our interview with Christoph Vliegen. He talked about playing against the big three, Rafa, Roger, and Novak, especially in slams, especially Rafa at Roland Garros. So many fun and hilarious, enjoyable stories. You're really going to love it. So please check it out.
Have a good night. Good night. Good night. Very good night.